Guyana and Venezuela, two neighbors who lived peacefully for generations. No war, no aggression, no conflict, but a court case pending at the ICJ. In fact, when Guyana was down and out, all of you remember, tens of thousands of Guyanese ran to Venezuela for a better life and were welcomed. When the Caribbean was struggling with high fuel prices, Venezuela stood by our side and sold us cheap fuel. They even allowed Guyana to keep the fuel money and fix our country. Now tell me, Kevin, is that the act of an enemy or a friend?
Friend.
Where were the so-called global powers during those times of struggle, Uncle and Auntie? Where were they when we were going hungry and needed a break? I'll tell you, Guyana, yes. Let me tell you, they were right there too. Yes, lining up with briefcases full of new loans, debt traps with high interest rates, ready to exploit and sink Guyana deeper into poverty and debts. That is their version of friendship. So when I see how quickly the story has changed, how a friend is being turned into a threat, I can't help but ask, is it really our neighbor that changed? Or is it that the same playbook has arrived in Guyana? Help me. Help me, Uncle. I am not so bright. Now let's fast forward to today. Yes, in 2025. Guyana has struck oil. Billions of US, perhaps trillions of US dollars worth. And just like that, Venezuela is being painted as the big bad wolf, the enemy of Guyana. Hear me, Uncle. This is the exact game played out in Africa, Asia, the Arab world, in Latin and South America throughout history. They come in wearing big smiles, shaking hands, and saying, "We are here to help you develop your resources," while quietly they are stoking fire, giving themselves the opportunity to set up military bases, roll in warships, install embassies, and take over the country's wealth, leaving the citizens with calabash in their hands. Do you honestly believe all these foreign powers are here to protect us from Venezuela?
No.
You are so correct. You are so correct, Uncle. No. They are here to protect their share of our timber, our gold, our oil, and every other rich minerals they can see and put on, and not for our safety, brother. Yes. This isn't diplomacy, Uncle. This is economic warfare disguised as national defense and friendship. And you know what? You know what, Uncle? What bothers me the most about this now developing issue with Venezuela? It is not just the noise in the media. It is not even the fear that the foreign powers created. It is the fact that President Maduro came out publicly and said he is willing to meet with our president. He went further to say, Uncle, he wants to sit down man to man, leader to leader, and talk face to face. But for whatever reason, President Ali is refusing that. Hear that, Kevin? Refusing to meet the very neighbor who opened their arms to Guyanese when we were down. The very neighbor we have lived beside peacefully for generations. Now, our president refusing to shake hands or meet. What kind of a leader turns down a chance for dialogue at a time like this, uncle? Especially with so much at stake. Especially with the region and the whole world watching. Huh? You could help me? When a neighbor says, let's talk, and you say, nah, what are you doing to that relationship, uncle? Are you hurting that neighbor, or are you hurting yourself more? And the big question here, who is behind the scenes pushing Guyana to take such a position, Kevin? Think about that, uncle. Have we opened our doors wide for the outsiders to walk in and call the shots? To make decisions for Guyana? You tell me, uncle. If that is not what is happening today. That is another part of the playbook, Kevin. Yes, that transpired throughout history. And Guyana is falling right into that same trap. The big powers don't want Guyana and Venezuela to talk. They want tension. They want division. They want us to fear each other so they can step in like an angel and save the day. While their people walking out, shipping out, flying out with our treasures, leaving both countries hating each other. Isn't that what is happening presently, Kevin?
Yes.
Thank you. If President Maduro is calling for dialogue, why not meet and hear what the man got to say, Mr. President? That is standard practice between mankind. You have a problem, Mr. President, you sit down, listen to each other and come to some kind of a solution. What are you afraid of? Are you telling this nation, two presidents of neighboring countries with all this wealth at stake can't sit down and have a grown-up man-to-man conversation? Hey, Kevin? Guyana is not a puppet state, or at least it is not supposed to be one. So why are we acting like permission has to be granted before our leaders can even meet our neighbor? Mr. President, dialogue does not mean weakness. It means maturity. It means strength and courage. It means putting your people and country first and doing everything to avoid bloodshed, tension, and manipulation. This refusal to meet isn't diplomacy. It's disaster in the making, people. Being guided from outside. You get me clear there, Kevin?
Yes.
Being guided from outside. And if every Guyanese, yes, every Guyanese should be paying attention to this development. It is not good for Guyana, my brothers and sisters. No, 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 no. These two men should meet and talk. President Ali is setting the stage to borrow and spend billions. Yes, uncle. billions of dollars to build up Guyana's military defense capability, while the citizens crying out for salaries, crying out for roads, crying out for electricity, better schools, up-to-date health care, crying out for better drinking water and food. Why have we jumped so quickly to beef up defense spending when we haven't given any kind of conversation a chance to work, Uncle? We're going to spend billions to protect who and what? ExxonMobil? Going to take the little oil money, the cash grant money are you receiving from this oil to buy weapons to defend Guyana from Venezuela? Kevin, this is the three-card con game being played out right now in Guyana. One, to send a message to Venezuela, then fool Guyanese. Yeah, man. And the winning card, yes, they get the business selling you weapons. Hear that?
Yes.
Who you think selling you the weapons?
US.
Yes. So who winning? You? Guyana? Me? Wake up, Guyana. Please, open your eyes. This is no longer about protection anymore. This is a well-oiled protection racket going on. A carefully crafted game to keep you afraid while they quietly snatch your wealth with a smile. And the real tragedy we face today, Uncle and Auntie, the ones who should be defending us, our leaders, are not just sleeping in their offices. Some of them are brainless, spineless, corrupt, and greedy animals that is going along with everything the foreigners put in front of them. No questions asked, no shame, no conscience, no nothing. They are not protecting us. They are protecting the hands that are robbing us. Ex-presidents sitting, sitting presidents, prime ministers, secretaries of state from every corner of the globe. People who couldn't even pronounce Guyana a few years ago are now flying in like bees every month, smiling, shaking hands, grinning ear to ear with our leaders. You really think they love us? You think they suddenly care about Guyana? Care about you? About me? Kevin? No, Uncle. What they care about is our treasure. And when they are not flying into Guyana, our leaders are being flown out of Guyana. Yeah, man. To the Buckingham Palace, to the White House, to dine and pose with kings, queens, and presidents. Not because of who they are, but because of what Guyana has. Yes, it is our oil, our gold, our bauxite, our timber, and all the untapped riches buried beneath our feet. Kevin? And while they smile for the cameras and wine and dine with our leaders, they are plotting how to leave you and me with the crumbs. Don't be fooled, Uncle. Don't be fooled, Auntie, by the lights and the limelight. What they are really after is the loot. Let me make this clear, man. This is no love affair, my brothers and sisters. This isn't friendship. This is a gold and oil rush dressed up in suits with smiles. These diplomatic visits, you see, they are not about strengthening ties with Guyana. It is about tightening the noose around Guyana neck. They feed your leaders lavishly, wine them, dine them, clap for them, and while the music playing and the glass is clinking, they are sitting at that very table, Kevin, plotting how to rob you blind the very next day. That is not a state dinner, uncle. It is a setup to bleed your country dry. It is like a man walking into your home, eating your food, drinking your rum, dancing to your music, but the whole time he eyeing your data and calculating what he can walk out with from your house. That is the kind of game we are caught up in right now with ExxonMobil and the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and the other foreigners. They are not coming here to bless this country. They are coming here to strip it bare and leave you clapping while them doing it. Let's be real. Some of them didn't even know we name before. Some believe Guyana was in Africa. This is a treasure hunt. And Guyana is the X on the map.
Yes.
Just yesterday, another VIP jet touched down in Guyana. This time carrying none other than the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. He says he come to talk about oil. Yes, uncle, oil. And to ensure Guyana has the security it needs amidst the threat from Venezuela. You hear that, Kevin? You hear that, uncle? He flew all the way from America to sit down in Little Guyana, not to talk about poverty, clean water, jobs, or schools, but to talk about our oil and how it must be protected. Rubio made it very clear yesterday, uncle, if Venezuela dares trouble ExxonMobil or takes military action against Guyana over the Essequibo, there will be tough consequences. The man said it would be a very bad day for Venezuelan regime if they were to attack Guyana or attack ExxonMobil. Hear that, Kevin? The man said it wouldn't end well for them. Then he dropped the real bombshell. He said the US already has a Navy vessel out there in Guyana's water. Demonstrating their ability to protect this country. Hear that, Kevin? Let me pause for a moment, please. Let me sip this tea. Gosh. You hear what I said? They got military warship out there patrolling the waters. You see how much this oil is worth to that man and his country, uncle? Them sending warship to guard it. But ask yourself, what exactly are they protecting out there, uncle? Is it the fishermen? Is it me and you? The struggling citizens of this country? Or is it ExxonMobil's black gold pumping out of the seabed by the billions every month? Which one, Kevin? the black gold. And you know, Kevin, what was more disturbing to me and this country? They have a warship in our waters, and the Guyanese people didn't even know. Hear that? Didn't even know, uncle. Warship. Not to rescue us from poverty, but to rescue ExxonMobil from interruption. Welcome to Guyana, uncle. The country where citizens going to bed hungry and the oil getting Navy protection.
And the water, brum.
Yes, and the water brown that you're drinking. Look what these chaps doing here, brother. Them got warship out there patrolling up and down, cruising in our waters, while our oil, our gold, our real treasure disappearing by the boatloads. And you, the rightful owners, sitting in darkness. And what are you busy doing, Uncle and Auntie? Fighting over elections, fighting over race, and fighting over party colors.